We are looking at Black Cat Kitchen, and all I hope is that this is not a channel about cooking cats.
No baked cheesecake with Oreo. That already sounds like something I need to see and eat.
Hi everyone, welcome to Black Cat Kitchen. I hope you're doing well. Today we're making our twist on the French classic apple Tarte Tatin. Instead of apples, we're using bananas. For that delicious banoffee flavor. We're really making this recipe our own by adding hazelnuts to the Tarte Tatin, and we'll also be using rum and vanilla in our caramel sauce. Let's get started. See the description below for a list of ingredients. We're going to start by putting 1 cup, 175 grams of sugar in the bottom of our pan. I like to spread this out a little bit evenly to make it nice and easy for it to melt. To this, 80 milliliters of water, about 1/3 of a cup. And I just like to run it all around the outside of the sugar. And we're going to turn that on to medium-high heat. While your sugar is cooking away, we can prepare our vanilla bean and our hazelnuts. So this vanilla pod you can see is nice and plump and squidgy. That's exactly what you want in a vanilla pod. What I'm going to do is take my knife and run it along the middle of the pod. And then I'm going to open up each half and scrape out all of those beans. So just take the back of your knife and run it along each side of the pod. You've got a few different options here with your vanilla pod. You can put the pod right into your caramel sauce to hint that vanilla flavor is in there once you've turned out your banana Tarte Tatin. But I'm going to pop it into my sugar jar because I love vanilla sugar. You leave it for a few weeks, give it a good shake in that jar, and it permeates all of that sugar, making your baked goods just taste beautiful and delicious. Now it's time to chop our hazelnuts. I'm using 75 grams. You can easily chop these nuts by hand, but I find it really easy just to pop them in the food processor. And if you haven't got a food processor, we're giving away a mini one at the end of this episode. You want them broken down into fairly large chunks, palatable, but not too small. Now it's time to prep our bananas. You want to cut your bananas fairly large because you want to make sure they don't turn to mush while your pastry is cooking. So I'm just going to take the end off, little chef's treat, and I'll be cutting mine on an angle. And I like to try and keep them about the same size. I'm cutting the banana pieces about 2 inches long. This is because you just don't want them to turn to mush while your pastry is cooking. Once your sugar turns this beautiful amber color, turn the heat down to low, and we're going to slowly and carefully add in our butter. Just swirl the pan. We're using 3 tablespoons of salted butter here. If you don't want that salted caramel flavor, you can use unsalted. Now turn the heat off once that butter is completely melted, and we're going to set this aside. While that caramel is setting, let's add in our vanilla beans and about 30 milliliters of dark rum. Optional, but recommended. Now's when I'll give this a stir with my spatula to make sure those vanilla beans get all through that caramel. At this point, you'll want to preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. If you have a fan oven like I do, I've preheated it to 160 degrees Celsius. To our caramel, we're now going to add our chopped hazelnuts. I'm using about half of my hazelnuts here, and I'll put half on top of the bananas just to give it a little bit of a different texture. Now it's time to lay in our bananas. You can make any pattern you like. You can even stick them straight up if you want, but I've done a little bit of a chevron pattern. I'm going to put the rest of our hazelnuts on here, and then we're going to prep our puff pastry. I'm using store-bought puff pastry here because it's actually a really great product, but I am doing a video soon to show you how to make your own at home. We're just going to trim this so that it fits just about an inch or over the sides of our pan. You can use a dinner plate here if that helps. And then we're just going to transfer our pastry on top of our bananas. Now with a small spatula, just tuck that puff pastry down around the bananas. Try and just get those corners right in there. And that last little bit, just really get those tucked down there. Because all of that beautiful caramel and those bananas will create steam, you're going to want to give a few little pricks with the knife into your pastry. This makes sure you won't have a soggy bottom. And into the oven it goes. If you've been around since 300 subscribers, you know at 300 we did a giveaway. And we promised at 600 we'd do the same. So here we are. Thank you for 600 subscribers. We are so grateful that you've stuck around and you've told your friends and you're making our recipes. I love seeing all of your comments down below, and I really have loved getting to know so many of you. It has been such a beautiful journey for us here at Black Cat Kitchen. To celebrate, we're giving away a Cuisinart Mini Prep Pro food processor. It's perfect for making sauces, chopping up nuts, making a smoothie. You've got so many different options with this great kitchen tool. Here's how to enter. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, and tell me down in the comments what you'd like to see me make next. We'll be announcing the winner live here on YouTube on May 30th at 5 p.m. BST. That's taken about an hour, and we're going to let it set up for 5 minutes before we turn it out. Caramel has a sweet but almost slight bitterness to it that just mellows out that rich hit of that sugar. And the bananas are so soft and creamy, and they've absorbed all of that rum and vanilla flavor. And then you've got that beautiful base, that buttery, crisp crunch when you bite into it. Perfect with a scoop of ice cream on top. And you get that little bit of crunch from the top and the bottom with those hazelnuts stashed in there. It's so different from the traditional apple Tarte Tatin. It's almost like you've picked it up from France and dropped it somewhere in the Caribbean. It's just festive and fun, and it's a complete winner to me. Perfect for an outdoor barbecue, or great anytime you're having friends around for a dinner party. This one will definitely go down a treat. But I find it really easy just to pop them.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got a fruit, okay. If you have a fan oven like I do, if you have a fan oven, for this recipe, we're going to get started with our caramel sauce. Yes, Gordon, caramel. And then we're going to prep our Now it's time to chop our Now it's time to chop our hazelnuts. I'm doing these in my Cuisinart. No, while your sugar is cooking away, get vanilla pot. Let me start that again. Ooh. To celebrate, we're giving away, what is it? It's the smaller version of my big. To celebrate, we're giving away a Cuisinart Mini Prep Pro. Say that 5 times fast. Make sure you and tell me down below what you'd like to see me make next. Let me do that again. You happy with that?
Nice, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay, hang on, I'm not done yet though. Thanks so much for joining us in Black Cat Kitchen. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below entering our competition. See you next time.